Remember this tool pouch? I made this a while back for all of my sewing tools, but after using it for 4 months,
That's where you were?
my tools keep going missing due to the overly large pockets. And don't even think about adding just one scissor to it. The pouch has poor balance, much like me. The first design are not the best, and sometimes it can take many revisions to land the perfect one. So let's redesign it to better fit our needs. One of the reasons why it is terrible at balancing could be related to interfacing.
This is why I end up with so many interfacing. Can't have one side that fits all.
I ended up using Pellon 71F for the main compartments and A09 for the pockets and handle. Pellon 71F is a thick, heavy interfacing, so using it for all parts would not be ideal, especially when sewing on a domestic sewing machine. If you are planning to use 71F, realize that in the final step, the thickness you are sewing through would be 0.5 inches, which I later learned was one of the most challenging part of sewing this bag together.
After some struggle with my sewing machine, I finally got it to work. Although I don't recommend it, it was really a struggle. I almost hand stitched, but then even when I hand stitched, I couldn't get my needle to go through. That's how thick this part is.
It also wasn't fun to turn the bag right side out either. I ended up ripping one of the linings. Luckily for me, it was at the bottom. I went with a natural canvas collar for the interior of the bag to easily spot the bright color tools. A handle is added to easily carry the bag. The issue here is that I made it a little too short. A redesign was required to add a few inches. Several small and medium pockets for the small tools.
I couldn't remember how I want the pockets to be attached. This is pocket 1, this is pocket 2, and this is pocket 3. Pocket 2 will sit over pocket 1, so there's 2 of these. Pocket 3.
Confused? Let me explain. The exterior of the bags will have 4 pockets. Large for scissors, medium for medium-sized tools, and 2 different small sizes for the tiny little ones. And they are all laid out like this. The large pockets were added later after I realized the scissors stick out too much in the medium pockets.
This is my first time doing this, and here's my plan. I'm gonna sew along the side here and here like this, and then to secure it and close off the bottom here, I'm going to push this flap to the other side and then sew it across this way. I want to say though that my sewing machine actually struggled going through this thick of a layer of fabric. So if you are going to make something similar like this part, you might want to reduce your interfacing to a less heavy weight.
And this is how I learned A09 was a little too thick for my sewing machine. It was not an issue since a pair of pliers solved the problem. I plan to close up the small side pocket at the bottom like this until I realize.
I also noticed that pocket 3, it's a lot smaller in real life than what I envisioned it to be. Instead of aligning pocket 3 against the bottom edges of pocket 1, I'm going to make it so that it's like kind of like a tool strap instead of a pocket.
After many modifications later, here is the let me introduce you to Tool Pouch 2.0.
Well, that was easy, wasn't it?
It took me many revisions to get to this bag, and I can't be happier with the end product. There were a lot of modifications that were made based on the user experience, my own experience, of course. And without my first design, this bag would not exist. If you like this bag, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more bags. As always, have fun creating.